afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sabbath Sunday. Let God be true, though every man be a liar. This is also what I would call brunch Sunday report. Every Sunday I give a report. When it was made known to me that persons sit around the little groups, around the little family table after church to get together, and even some places where boiled fish is being eaten, they have their telephone or a telephone in the middle of the table, and they're listening to some of the things I have to say. I guess other people too, because I'm not the only one who does voice notes, I am sure. So I decided I would give a brunch report, which could be anytime between 12 and 2, and so here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to name this brunch report on Sunday, October 7th, 2018. I am Gorman Bannister, Black Belt The Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I am naming this brunch report First Fire, Then Fired, Then the Way Forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this government has been playing with fire for a very long time. The nation's leader recently embraced fire to his bosom by hiring a criminal and unhinged sexual pervert in Omar Archer. He has put him on our payroll at Public Works. And it's been leaving us to be thought as a people who endorse those kinds of felonious and vulgar defaults in character that can be found in Omar Archer. Hence, at about 4 a.m. this morning, fire decided to play with Menace and those other criminals that make up this government. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living God, and that's where Menace and his government of criminals find themselves. They can't get out, and we can't get in to try and lose them. It's too late. So, first, it was fired. Next, it will be fired. Menace, your time is up. And for those who may believe that something can be salvaged, there is no place in the history of God's affairs where the wicked king and his followers went separate paths. In the affairs of God, when he makes a decision on the error of mankind's ways, his decision is all-encompassing. The message sent through his actions, God that is, reaches all. The wicked in them, and reaches all. The wicked, it reaches the wicked, and it sends a warning with advice for those that may even dream of trying what the wicked has been thoroughly condemned for. So now that we can see the path of this criminal government, for us, the lesson as well will be so thorough that none will seek to do the same on the way forward after the fire and then the fired. So how do we, who will be left to rebuild this society, correctly move forward in God's will? First of all, how this criminal government has operated in secrecy of billions about our financial affairs. We must brace ourselves for the horror of the true nature of the economy once a new government takes its place. Knowing that drastic measures will have to be taken to rescue our economy, we shall come face to face with having to satisfy what is the foundation of life as ordained by God and satisfy justice. Satisfy justice. Ladies and gentlemen, part 2 coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our brunch report that started at 2 p.m. It is now 2:08. This is part two. This is Sabbath Sunday, and Jesus is Lord, and this is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. This is equally random Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, random Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, and we are talking about fires, fired, and then the way forward. And I spoke of the fact that once a new government takes place, knowing that drastic measures will have to be taken to rescue our economy, we shall come face to face with having to satisfy the foundation of life as ordained by Almighty God. And that foundation is that of justice. Justice will demand that those that have set this nation on a difficult path forward and recovery because of their deeds, they must be punished. Let me say it again. Justice will demand that those that have set this nation on a difficult way forward for recovery because of their deeds, they must be punished. It's going to take the concept of justice, not law. Because I fear that when this criminal government is physically finished, we'll find that law was even corrupted. Yes, this government is finished. I already told you, minister, your time is up. But now we deal with the aspects, the physical aspects of bringing that to a reality. So knowing that justice, in fact, has to take precedence because law may have even been corrupted, it will take justice to bring credibility back to law, in fact. So the way forward will require two equal elements, which is the functioning of the government and the functioning of a justice apparatus. A new government should be about the sole purpose of recovery of the economy and the steps forward. While doing that, it must set up a blue ribbon justice panel, inclusive of just one judge, lawyers, accountants, police, and investigators, with the powers of a tribunal court. For those who may not be able to be independent if they sit on this court, they must not even be considered, or if they are detected to not really be independent, they must be removed and replaced. The panel should have a maximum existence of 18 months. The panel will be operating in juxtaposition to the government. In other words, while the government is running the affairs of the country, the blue ribbon justice panel will be tracking the acts and decisions that were illegal, immoral, and of insider trading of the previous government and any persons who benefited. After the findings are collected, the Blue Ribbon Justice Panel will then present the findings to the government and then the public and pronounce the sentencing on persons according to the laws of the land, which can range from reacquiring land obtained through insider trading by government officials to jail terms, to prison terms, plus monetary fines. If you only get a monetary fine, it has to be an astronomical amount. If you get a jail and monetary fine, then you can try to balance that off. But if those only fall in the category of getting a fine, and we know that a fine is not going to hurt them, we then have to impose the penalty of the fine as a punishment. Now, if these things are not done by the next government, fire and then fired would be a joke to what God would do next. God never wants us in bondage, but he has no problem allowing us to go back there if once he frees us, we don't do what we know is the right thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Sabbath Sunday brunch presentation. It's also been a random presentation. This is October the 7th, 2018. This is Black Belt The Voice. I am Gorman Bannister. And I wish that you do consider the time. Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, we continue on now to deal with what I've called Turnquest Scumbagology. Turnquest Scumbagology.
And gentlemen, this is 6:34 p.m. It is October 7th, 2018, and this is Sunday. Sabbath is over, but Jesus is still Lord. That's right. I love you, Jesus. I love you. And I love who Jesus loves, and I love who Jesus don't love. Who Jesus don't love, I don't love. I war against those who war against us. Ladies and gentlemen, this segment I'm doing tonight is called The Bad Seed. And as you can see, the first picture, you know that there's a tree, then there's a bad seed, and if there's a bad seed, the fruit is usually bad. Now, it's not to say that you may not have one that may not be, but you have to wait to see how it grows when out in the sunlight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may know, okay, this is Scumbag Tiny Turnquest. Now, you may say to yourself, or you may have said to yourself, or it doesn't matter, or you just disregard and you say it's wrong, but you may wonder why I call Sir Orville Alton Turnquest Sr., why I call him Scumbag Tiny. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 63 years old, and I was at my father's feet literally from I was 10. I've seen them all. I've seen them going from rags to riches. I've known how they've done it. And congratulations to them. A lot of them took the opportunities availed to them by my father, and they made it work. I don't like how some of them did it. I don't think it's righteous how they did it. So the reason why I call, who you all call Sir Alton, I'm having conniptions even to have to pronounce it like that because you don't deserve that. So Orville Alton Turnquest Jr. Right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a little difficult for me to even put something decent like that on Scumbag Tiny. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I know him when he was Scumbag Tiny. I know him when he was Scumbag Tiny. And because everything he may have today, and everything he may leave to family members, and everything that family members may then go on to leave to others, all derives from Scumbag Tiny. Okay? Now, he got this nice suit on, and you can clean the suit, but you can't clean the scumbag off of Tiny. So that is why he will forever be to me Scumbag Tiny. And so I want history to reflect when anybody runs across anything I've ever written about Scumbag Tiny, the only thing that they'll probably be bothering them is that they wanted to know more and I didn't tell more, or time didn't allow for me to tell more. So Scumbag Tiny is the announcement of this particular post that I'm doing called The Bad Seed. And the reason why I call him the bad seed, because I want you to look at what he's produced. What he produced. What has been an offshoot of him. And unfortunately, the father of these science people, Basil Sr., was the most wonderful human being. I mean, you can put him up there with the best. I've known him for at least 40 years. A gentleman of the highest order. A gentleman of the highest order. But unfortunately, he married into the tiny scumbag Turnquest family. And if anything, you should give him, posthumously, you should give Basil Sr. credit for having brought these children to a point to at least where he won't be here for to see them make jail. I mean, so, because you don't pass nothing until you die. Well, he doesn't pass that. I'm talking about Basil Sr., because he ain't here to see it. If and when it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, part 2 coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's, of course, like I said, this presentation is because it's called The Bad Seed. Tiny scumbag Turnquest and what he has produced through family seedology, I would say. Okay? So, but now into the science part of it, okay? The science part, but it still has that strong DNA of scumology, training. So the first one we look at now, we look at Robert Sandy Sands. Probably considered to be the most friendly of them, right? Okay, but what do we expect? What do we expect of him? I mean, he is working for a company that just brought in 15 or more Dominican women to go clean up rubble at the Crystal Palace that Bahamians could do. But what are we to expect of Sandy Sands? I mean, you know who his uncle is, right? His uncle is Scumbag Tiny. So, that which he maybe conscious now. There ain't gonna be no pang of conscience to say, man, boss, whatever his name is down there, Balmar, he ain't gonna say, man, we can find some Bahamians to do it. You ain't gotta worry about that. Not him. He on the boss, he taking the chance of the boss maybe not even saying good night. Let me not say good night, because you're all touchy. He would not take a chance of the boss saying goodbye to him if he was to object. Can't expect that of him. Not a Sandy. Sandy is a nephew of Scumbag Tiny. Survival of the illest. Who's the most illest and sickest survival of the sickest. That's how Scumbag Tiny is, and that's scumbagology a la Tiny Turnquest. Oh yeah, if I sound feisty tonight, I'm gonna be more than feisty. I'm gonna get ridiculous. Ridiculous. And how you spell that? RIDICKULOUS. Ridiculous. So that's Sandy. Okay? Then, of course, you come to the one who is the most famous and most talked about today. Dwayne Sands. He represents probably more of scumology, even Tiny. In fact, whenever Tiny go, and that's why I'm giving Tiny his petunias and carnations and orchids now, while he's still alive. The cocksucker anyway. But anyhow, he will be able to take Tiny's baton of scumology. Tiny can pass scumology on to him. In fact, if he don't, he may already have taken it from Tiny, and he might not know. Because he is the epitome of scumology. This guy, and let's face it now, he's in the same party, just Dwayne Sands. He's in the same party with Omar Archer, They're all together, that's for them. You know what that means, right? So for $300, Dwayne Sands will sell his ass and throw the hole in for free. That's what he'll do. What you expect? Tiny Turnquest, Scumbag Tiny's nephew. Scumbag Tiny's nephew. What do you expect? Let's move on. Then you have the whore master in the West, Basil Sands Jr. They say he's a veterinarian. Well, the closest he comes to a veterinarian is those dogs he have guarding them whorehouse cottages by his house on Oak Hill Road, right down the block from Lady Pinland, across the street from Darrell Road, and not too far from Dion folks. Maybe he got a little poker game going on there too. Dion will be there for that and for other things as well, I'm sure, but poker will draw him there quicker. So, but this Basil Sands Jr. is supposed to be a veterinarian, right? But the only veterinarian he is is those dogs he have minding those whorehouses who the Haitian Johnny has to tie up so that those customers come to stay with them whores. And they Dominicans too. Right? What do you expect? You understand? You know the rhythm. This is scum. This is Tiny Turnquest scumology. Scumbagology. Tiny Turnquest, another Tiny Turnquest nephews. And now, of course, now we have another Turnquest, another Sands, being sworn in as a judge. Let me ask you a question. Who decides who should be judged from who shouldn't be judged in this country? Is it Menace? Is it Menace? Okay, fine. It's Menace then, right? Okay. That's the same Menace who said before the election that he would see that those Cabbage 10 Beach persons were not prosecuted, right? And he did, didn't he? Didn't the police not show up, so they threw the case out of court? That Menace, right? That's the Menace that who swear in judges, right? Okay, fine. Now I'm asking again to you, but Menace. Do you call any of them judges and magistrates and tamper with them? Straight out question. Straight out question. Don't have me have to ask the judges and the magistrates. You answer it. Because if their phone rings, they have to pick it up. They don't ring their own phone and get you. Their phone ring and you get them. If that's what's happening. Straight answer. Answer it. Now, as far as that's concerned, with this next Turnquest Sands, who's going as a steward, okay? I've already introduced to you the other brothers. I think there's another sister too. And I've already introduced to you the bad seed, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. Let's be fair about it. Let's see how she works out. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of the bad seed and what we have seen grown so far. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your little black belt presentation. October the 7th, 2018. The time is now 6:46 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, like I said to you, tomorrow being a holiday now, there'll be some random reports, okay? Thank you very much. Good evening.